What if Santa Claus wasn't a fictional fairy tale made for kids? What if he was real, but he was a terrifying eldritch horror, straight out of H.P. Lovecraft's book? I've always thought that Santa Claus in concept was a tad bit creepy. This old dude with a beard, dressed in red with a hat on, that sneaks into people's houses, gives gifts to kids and disappears up chimneys. There was something off-putting about that, but you know, it's Santa Claus. What can you say? But the show Love, Death, and Robots has something different to say about what the being is and what the nature of Santa Claus truly is. And I'm going to say this right now. Love, Death, and Robots is wiping its ass with Hollywood. They're running circles around the rest of Hollywood right now. And a specific episode called All Through the House dictates that Santa Claus is not what you think. A very short story about two little kids that want to sneak downstairs to see Santa Claus give them gifts. They're trying to break the rules. They're trying to crack the code. They're trying to see what this being looks like, and they go have a sneak to see who this majestic, almost wizard godlike being could be, Santa Claus. Every kid's dream on Christmas. They start to see the shadows in pure happiness and excitement. The dopamine is hitting hard. They're about to see Santa Claus. And the shadow looks like a regular man. They're expecting something that looks like this. A jolly old dude with a beard, smiling, with a hat on, very nice. All that kind of shit. Unfortunately, this is Love, Death, and Robots. And Love, Death, and Robots always likes to fuck your brain. This shadow starts morphing into something not human. And then eventually we see this. What? A fucking tongue. A long tongue, the size of a goddamn snake, sticks out. And starts sipping into that cold ass milk. Grabbing a hold of those cookies real quick. But we start to see a little bit of what this creature truly is. That ain't Santa Claus. That ain't human. There's nothing human about this. There's nothing good or cool about this. This is horrifying. And the kids are shitting they're shitting bricks right now. They went from excited to now, holy fuck. Now they're sitting back and they're traumatized at this point. They're like, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? What have we stumbled in on? The creature starts making its way, sensing, almost sniffing out where the kids are. It has its hands over its face as if it's covering something up. This thing already looks grotesque enough. I don't want to see what the hell that face is. Then it finds them hiding behind the couches. They turn around and see what the hell it is as it reveals its face. And it's this! What the flying turtle fuck is that? These two, look, you can see it on the faces. This is PTSD for life. This is repressed memories for life. The creature goes up to the girl. Starts sniffing. Hey! Literally with that voice. Hey! Literally does this shit. Good. He starts judging her. Has she been a good kid? And he says, yes, she has. He can tell by the scent of her. She's not been a naughty kid. So since she's not on Santa's naughty list today, he vomits her out a gift, her present. Which makes you wonder, what the hell was he doing behind the tree? Was he giving gifts? Was he taking gifts? Was he just jerking off? Like, what was he doing if he's giving the gifts now? Interesting. He vomits out the gift and gives it to her. I don't know who the hell wants to touch this thing after it's been taken out of this dude's digestive system, but okay. Then he turns to the kid very quickly, gives him a little sniff. And he almost stops a bit and shakes it off, shakes his face off down, as if something's not right. It's implied that this kid has not entirely been pure. He's been a tad bit naughty maybe this past year. But you know what? The being's gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say, you've been good. Vomits him out a gift, then pats his head and says, stay good. Then puts his hand on his eyes and his face and goes back up the chimney as if nothing ever happened. And now these two kids are forced to just sit there and live with the fact that that just occurred. That shit went down, and it'll probably happen every Christmas until they're of a certain age and they don't believe in it anymore. And then they're left wondering with the ultimate question. What if we were naughty? What if we weren't good? What would this creature have done to us? First we have to ask, before we answer that question, we have to ask, what the fuck was that thing? Okay? What is this being, Zaffy? You're always the one making theories up, talking about monsters left and right. This is the most unique monster maybe ever. What is it? Some people theorize this could actually be the Santa archetype as we know it, conjuring up a vision and kind of teaching the kids a lesson, especially the kids who try to sneak in on Santa when he's giving gifts and they're not supposed to see what he looks like. Maybe this is his way of teaching them a lesson, warding them off. I don't know what the fuck kind of sadistic weirdo Santa that is. I don't know why Santa would be doing that. You're giving kids shell shock PTSD for life. You're going to turn these kids into schizophrenics before they're young, before they're old enough to even know you're not real. So I don't think it's that. Some people say, okay, maybe it's Krampus, right? That half goat, half demon thing that punishes kids who are naughty and takes them to the underworld, but will also gift the other ones, you know, the more demonic creature. I don't think it's that, because this thing seems a bit kinder than a Krampus and more eldritch in its look. Doesn't look demonic in the same sense. It looks otherworldly, but it doesn't give me demon who's punishing kids vibes. Is this an ancient old one? Is this a great old one? Is this straight out of Lovecraftian mythos? Because we know it has to be eldritch in nature. I think this is a being that predates the very notions of Santa and Krampus. This predates culture and intrinsically inserts itself into human culture, so it can use it as a cloaking mechanism to do its bidding. And what its bidding is a far more complicated process. But I do think it was like a godlike being that predated everything, and it gave birth to the notion of a Santa Claus by doing what it does. And it looks like this. Now, when I saw this, and it's covering its face and then doing, hey, when I saw that, it reminded me of the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth. You all remember this dude? Very similar concepts. A being who has an eyeless face, but does this shit, weird style, and if a kid comes down and violates a specific rule, it'll eat him and kill him maybe, right? When a kid takes the forbidden fruit off its table. It reminds me a lot of that, which makes me think, this is definitely supernatural, maybe even biblical in concept. This version of Santa doesn't look at the children, it senses them, covering its eyes, which implies it doesn't need vision to see if you're good or bad. It judges your soul or your moral energy, so to speak. It's almost to protect the children as well, to honor them or to stop itself from becoming something worse. It's one of the most quietly terrifying gestures in the damn episode, because it implies that this monster knows what it is. It feeds off a spiritual or psychic energy emitted by good children. Its grotesque tongue-based gift delivery isn't just disgusting, it's symbolic consumption. For bad children, it may devour them, absorb them, or use them as fuel to continue its long lifespan. It needs children to be good, so its food source remains untainted. That food source being the milk and the cookies, traditionally. And when I saw this being, I'm like, okay, is this like a child of Shub-Niggurath, one of the great old ones, an ancient god that basically, in the Lovecraftian mythos, this being is known for giving birth to a dark brood. Millions of like beings that are terrifying, okay? It's highly possible that if we're applying that kind of mythos, an ancient god, a great old one, gave birth to beings like this. And beings like this went rogue maybe and found themselves on Earth and in this cycle, in this tradition of feeding off of a specific kind of energy and food that the other beings just don't. It is merciful. It's not an evil being or something that's just based off of pure, unadulterated fear just by looking like that. It says to William or Thomas, whatever the kid's name, it tells him to stay good. Right? It's almost like he gave him a warning. As if he knows the kid has been naughty, but he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think a malevolent, beyond comprehension Lovecraftian being would do that. And let's think about the powers. It's almost like this being has a window into the souls of kids. It can create gifts that they would like, out of nothing too. It's like it has reality manipulation abilities. It senses the kids. It knows who they are. It can travel almost undetected and unseen. How the hell is he supposed to be getting into these houses? Is he expecting nobody to wake up in the middle of the night at all? There's clearly supernatural things at play here. I believe that this is one of many beings that are there to maintain cosmic or karmic balance by feeding on positive soul energy. Which makes this one of the most terrifying, merciful creatures ever. This is the scariest version of Santa Claus we've ever seen. Alright? Period. Because this is not the typical Santa Claus. But you know what? This might be the nicest form of Santa Claus. Some Santa Clauses out here are serial killers in movies that we've seen. All right, some of them are assassins, some of them are PDF files, right? This is a being who, honestly, if you do wrong, he'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And if you do bad, what do y'all think would happen? Do you think it'll just use its tongue and devour a fucking kid cold? Clean? I leave that to the audience. Because honestly, there's a chance it could rip the soul out of them and leave them traumatized. There's also a chance that he was able to do this while maintaining the Santa Claus ritual, the tradition, right? And nobody questioned it. Over centuries and years, you think people would report missing kids on the eve of Christmas or on Christmas, near a Christmas tree, you know? I think this being operates very, very much in a stealthy way. I don't think he feeds on these kids like that. I think he does something else. He might traumatize the fuck out of them. Who knows? Who knows what this creature could do? It might just be eating them all, to be honest. In a terrifying way. That is the scariest Santa of all time. If you want to know another being that's eldritch in nature, who has reality warping abilities and looks grotesque and is scary in its own right, you can watch my video on the ancient enemy from the movie Phantoms over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.